Welcome back to GM Vision. Today we're going to be comparing the contracts of Shedeur Sanders, who is the 144th overall pick, to Jackson Dart, who is the 25th overall pick. Shedeur Sanders' contract has $447,000 fully guaranteed, while Jackson Dart's contract has $17 million fully guaranteed. A $16.5 million difference between the two of them. This is coming with a lot of draft experts, expecting Shedeur to be drafted before Jackson Dart. Now before we get started, I'm fully aware of the prime equity clause. While Shedeur does make money from things like jersey sales, that is not a part of his actual rookie contract that he gets paid for playing football. So we're going to stick to looking at this contract. So now let's go take a look at the full contract breakdown for both players and whose contract is going to bring more value to their team. Okay, so starting off with the base salary. This is probably going to be the closest you'll see in terms of value in this part of the contract, with both Sanders and Dart making $840,000 in the first year of the contract, and then Jackson Dart making more every year after that. So the base salary is going to be the amount of money they make during the 17-game season per game. So of course, these are rookie contracts, and given that Jackson Dart was a first-round pick, he's going to make considerably more than Shedeur Sanders. These contracts are fixed, but teams can manage money by making the bonuses bigger and the base salaries lower. To help you get a better understanding of that, let's go take a look at their signing bonuses. Okay, so now looking at the signing bonus. This is kind of what I was talking about when you see the ability to spread the money throughout the contract. Now, any bonus can be spread up to 5 years of a deal, but given these are only 4-year contracts, they can only be spread up to 4 years. Now, looking at it, you do see that Dart makes considerably more in signing bonus, again, given that he was a first-round pick. Dart also does have a 5th-year option that if the team does want to pick up, they will have to do by the end of his 3rd year. Now, given that Shedeur was a 5th-round pick, he does not have that 5th-year option. Only first-round picks do. And looking at it, Dart is making $2.1 million more a year in signing bonus than Shedeur is. But the thing to consider about Shedeur's contract is that if he outperforms his contract, the Browns will likely sign him to a new deal probably after the 2nd year. Okay, now that we've covered the signing bonus, let's go take a look at how the base salary and the signing bonuses from their contract impact the cap hit. Okay, so now looking at the cap hit. The cap hit is going to be the base salary plus any bonuses the player has in their contract. Now, when looking at these numbers directly, you obviously see that Shedeur's cap hit is much more favorable to the Browns than Jackson Dart's cap hits are favorable to the Giants. But when you look at it in an overall perspective, if you're assuming that both of these guys will end up being starters and playing through their contracts, $3 million to $5 million in cap hit a year for a starting quarterback in the NFL is very cheap, just like $950,000 compared to $1.3 million is. But if you look at it from a view that both these guys would end up becoming starters, they're both playing extremely cheap deals for a starting quarterback. So when you're really looking at them, a cap hit of $3.8 million is not that much different than a cap hit of $1.1 million. They're both going to be extremely cheap. But a caveat to that is if they are both starters, what you will likely see Shedeur get a contract extension probably after his 2nd year. But in Jackson Dart's case, even if he is a starter, you will likely see him play out the length of his rookie deal. Now that we have all that information, let's go take a look at my final decision. So now we're looking at my final decision. So in terms of value, I think Shedeur Sanders' contract will end up bringing more value to the Browns. The Browns have a chance to get an absolute steal with Shedeur. While my personal opinion was that Sanders wasn't a first-round talent, which was supported by the 32 NFL teams passing him on 4 times, he definitely had a lot more than a 5th-round value. So Sanders' extremely cheap contract makes his more valuable. Another reason why Shedeur Sanders' contract is more valuable is what we kind of touched on when talking about the cap hit, is that it won't hurt the Browns really if it doesn't work out for Shedeur. They only owe him $447,000 guaranteed, and he was also a 5th-round pick. So cutting him wouldn't affect the team in general as much as cutting someone like a first-round pick in Jackson Dart. But if Shedeur Sanders does work out, he will likely sign an extension after years 2 or 3 of his contract, and then they hit on a quarterback that they selected in the 5th round. So overall, when you look at it, even though they both will be on cheap contracts, Shedeur's situation has more upside for his team. Let me know in the comments, Who would you rather have on your team, Shedeur Sanders or Jackson Dart? Who do you think will end up having the better career? Also, drop in the comments any contract comparisons you want me to do next. Please like the video and subscribe if you're not already. It goes a long way in helping my channel grow. Thank you guys, that's all I got for you this time, and I'll catch you in the next one.